Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. This is Professor Perazzo with our latest edition. This is our Thanksgiving edition of Driving It Home. Uh, I'm actually parked, but I needed to get this out. So today you'll be hearing from Matt Santini. He's a blue belt Knock Muay Gym in King of Prussia. I teach there once a week. My friends, Career Carner, Billy Aljo, and Tim Carpenter are the instructors there. Joe Stripling as well. And Matt is going to talk to us today about making a career change. Matt had a very good career, decided that he wanted to become a professional martial arts instructor, get better at his craft, but also get rid of some things in his life by changing his career. So we talk about that. The reason why Matt's important to me personally is he was very helpful to me and my family at a certain time where we needed some help with dealing with certain things that he's an expert in. I don't want to give away too much, but let's just say that the second I asked Matt for help, no questions asked, he dropped what he did. He came to the meeting, worked with us as an advocate, and it was amazing. So I wanted to thank Matt. Number one, I've already thanked him in the past, but he's an amazing guy, was super helpful. And these are the kinds of connections, these are the kinds of people, these are the kinds of relationships that you make in a very good martial arts environment and academy. It's great that you learn how to kick people's ass and you learn new moves and all this other stuff, but it's really the people that you meet, the instructors, your teammates that make the school valuable. It's not so much at the end of the day the art, it's the relationships, because had it not been for Matt, who knows what position we'd be in now, but we're in a much better position because of the help he was able to give us. So listen to what Matt has to say about changing careers and becoming a professional martial arts instructor. All right, driving it home.
The black shirt is very flattering on me.
There we go. Our hangout has started. Driving it home with the professor. We are live, but not really, because this will be sent out tomorrow. Everyone, you know who I am, the professor, usually driving it home with. And in that little right-hand corner, I guess, when we're looking at it, we have Matt Santini. Say hi to everybody, Matt.
Hello.
And there's Matt. Just if anybody knows where he got those hooks from in the back, please let me know, because I'd like to have them destroyed.
I can tell you right now, I got him at Target for $2, and it was
Man, not only is he a professional, he's frugal.
yeah.
So I wanted to talk to Matt about one of the things that I've personally gone through, but he's gone through it a little bit sooner, is quitting his career and basically becoming a professional martial artist. So Matt, what's your role, and where do you work?
I work at Knock Muay Gym in King of Prussia, and I guess you could call me a manager, although everyone else calls me a secretary, but I would prefer to be a manager. So that
What kind of things do you do, like for the gym as manager and or secretary?
I answer the phones, other secretarial duties. I do the billing stuff for members. I schedule like new appointments for potential members, and then I teach classes. I teach the kids Jiu-Jitsu classes and the adult beginner Jiu-Jitsu classes.
All right, so most people that are going to be watching this, the hundreds, well, maybe 100, but anyway, the 100 people that are going to be watching this, what I know what you used to do, but what was your profession before you became the manager at the gym?
Yeah, I was a teacher, an elementary school teacher. I taught special ed for almost 10 years. I think it was like 8 or 9 years I taught. I was in the Central Bucks School District for a few years, and then I ended up in Pendelco School District for the last 5 or 6 years.
And you were in an autism support classroom, correct?
Yes.
All right, awesome.
The entire time, yeah.
Now, first question is, and I know this was like a big thing for me, is like, what did your family think when you said, hey, I'm going to quit my career as a teacher with this stable job, and I'm going to become the secretary at my jiu-jitsu gym, you know?
They were totally fine with it. They were actually very cool about it.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't care at all, which is pretty cool of them.
Yeah, your parents love you, right?
Sure, I think they do, maybe. I was an unloved middle child, but I think they have some left in there for me. But yeah, they were very cool about it. They just wanted to see me happy. I spent all my time, or I spent all my time at the gym when I wasn't teaching anyway, and they knew that. And they knew that I had been unhappy for a while teaching.
Okay.
So they were very cool with it. I mean, they asked questions about like how are you going to pay the bills and that sort of thing. But as long as I'm happy, they seem to be pretty cool with it.
Well, I mean,
So,
pay the bills with money, right? Is that what we pay the bills with?
um, believe it or not, I don't make as much as a secretary manager as I did as a teacher,
Right.
and there's no health benefits. But I'm a single guy. I don't have any kids. I live in a cheap apartment. I don't really have a lot of expenses.
Okay, so I was going to ask you then, like, so what have you done to kind of adjust your life to be able to kind of still survive and it sounds like you're happier than you were before when you were making more money.
Yeah, sure. Even when I was teaching, I didn't have a lot of expenses. Really, all I do is go to the gym. I like to read comic books, and I eat a lot of food. So that's really all I spent my money on to begin with. The apartment that I was living in, I lived in a house and I lived in an apartment, was twice as much monthly as what I'm paying right now. So that was an easy adjustment. I just live in a cheaper place. The neighborhood isn't nearly as nice, but it works for me. Um, Beyond that, that was really the only adjustment. I don't spend money frivolously to begin with.
Okay.
So I think I wound up saving more money now working at the gym than I did when I was a teacher. I got rid of little things like I don't have I have a TV, but I don't pay for cable. I just pay for wireless, so that cut my bill in half.
Okay.
Little things like that. Um,
What was it that kind of drew you? Like so what was the thing where you said, "Man, I don't want to teach these kids anymore. I want to work at the gym or I need to get out of this profession." Like what
right.
was it a series of things? Was it one thing or was it the attraction of jiu-jitsu? What was it?
I think it was a series of things. And what's weird is I miss the kids a lot, and it's not that I didn't want to teach the kids. That was the hardest part about it was leaving the classroom and leaving the kids because I felt like I left halfway through the year. I gave 2 months notice, and then after the Christmas break, I started my new job and they got a new teacher. So the hardest part was like leaving them mid-year because I like the kids. I love the kids, and I still do. And I might go back to it someday. But it came to the point where and I cop out by saying it was administration or it was school bureaucracy and stuff like that, but I don't know what it was. For whatever reason, in my head, it was like I was having daily nervous breakdowns and I was very unhappy going to work every day.
Okay.
And we were working with little kids. They were elementary school kids. They had autism. I worked with low-functioning kids who were nonverbal. If your heart's not in that anymore or if you're just not fully into it and happy where you are, I think it was a difficult thing to do, to go to
So
work.
for people that don't understand the world of autism, can you just kind of give them a little explanation on, what a low functioning autistic child is like?
Yeah, sure. So the kids I worked with, like I said, they were mostly nonverbal. Some had some verbal skills, but generally nonverbal or functionally nonverbal, we would say. Like they had some words, but it wasn't functional communication.
Spontaneous, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, right. So they usually used PECS or picture exchange communication for communication. They had a lot of behavior difficulties, just managing their emotions, difficulty socializing, those kind of standard things. The lower functioning kids, I think you experience more, or at least I did, more behavior issues because they don't have any other mechanism for coping with a difficult situation otherwise than being aggressive and violent.
Okay.
But that
And
was
that's
actually part of the job that I loved most.
a lot of times they're violent towards other people and towards themselves.
Right. It was either self-injurious or towards the staff or the other kids. Yeah. I worked with little kids. Like I was in elementary school, so it was K through 5 for all my years. So it was never like life-threatening danger or anything like that.
Right,
But
right.
it was
You're not going to get stabbed by a 7-year-old.
Right. But it was different than what like a typical classroom would look at, so it was different in that sense.
So you said you were having kind of like these mini breakdowns every day, either going to work or while you're at work. Have those nervous breakdowns gone away since you've changed careers and career paths?
Yeah, I mean, I have no anxiety about going to work and about doing my job on a daily basis, which is huge because it was daily for me. I think that's my personality to begin with. I'm kind of nuts as it is.
I think some people would say neurotic.
I'm neurotic. I'm a little OCD about things. And I felt like when I was teaching towards the end, I was completely out of control of what was going on. And I think, which may sound weird because people would tell me like my classroom was very well run and I had good classroom management, but in my mind I wasn't doing everything that I should be doing, or I couldn't do everything that I should be doing.
Right.
Part of that was, like I said, the school system and inclusion and things like that I was frustrated with. So yeah, it just got on my nerves. I couldn't keep control of my daily life, and that was difficult. So it was no more fun anymore, and the gym is always fun. So there's no stress there.
Right. No, the gym's definitely fun. Now, it sounds like you left because you were doing the kids a favor. If you weren't into it, why be there and teach the kids?
Yeah, I think the girl who replaced me and almost anyone would have been more passionate about it towards the end than I was, which is a sad thing to say because I was working with little kids who needed a good teacher, but I didn't feel like I was in there anymore.
Right, but so be clear about it. It wasn't that you'd become a bad teacher. Your technique and your ability to teach the kids and your ability to connect was still there. It was just the passion was lacking.
To be clear, I was in fact the teacher of the year. I was an outstanding teacher, but no, I wasn't in it anymore.
Right now, and I think that's fair. Especially you're in a high stress environment, correct? I mean, you're dealing with kids and families that are in a difficult situation every day of the rest of this child's life.
Right. I like to make everybody happy all the time. It's another annoying thing that I don't like about myself. And I couldn't make everyone happy there, and that just got on my nerves. I couldn't deal with it.
Right, and I guess sometimes it's kind of difficult to make an autistic kid happy if he just doesn't have it in him.
Well, and it wasn't even the kids. It was more everyone else around it than the kids. I have nothing bad to say about the kids. They were great.
Okay.
And I still miss them, and I still think that I might wind up back there someday in some way. But
so
right now, this is clearing my head.
Why not a different career path? Why not, become, I don't know what the hell else you could become, but, why work at the gym as opposed to something else? Why work at Knock Moy?
I thought that timing-wise, an easy answer is that timing-wise it worked out perfectly because as I was going crazy and thinking about leaving my job, they needed a new secretary/manager at Knock Moy KOP. So that was an opportunity. Beyond that, though, I felt like if I'm going to leave my job to do something else, it might as well be the one thing that I like doing more than anything else, just to give that a shot. Because everyone always says you should find something that you love and then find a way to do that every day, and then you'll be happy for the rest of your life. Which is super cheesy, but I wanted to see if that was true and if I could make that work. So going to the gym is the only thing that ever made me really, really happy, and doing jiu-jitsu in particular is the most enjoyable experience I've ever had doing anything. So I thought if I could make a living doing that, it would be cool, and I would try that.
So are people right? Are you happier now that you've found something you're passionate about and can make a living at it?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. This is amazing. Like, my daily life is amazing right now. I get to go to the gym every day. I get to train every day. I get to teach other people jiu-jitsu every day. I get a couple of days off where I go to another gym who's kind enough to let me train there. It's great.
So you're living the dream.
For the moment, yeah.
So now you keep referring back to that maybe someday you'll go back to teaching. What do you think, what would it take? What would have to happen for you to leave this dream that you're having to go back to teaching?
I do miss the kids. Like, I started working with kids with special needs just because I liked them to begin with, and it was rewarding. They were really, really fun. I don't really get along too well with typical kids. I can never really relate to them. But I felt like I got along really well with kids with autism. So I miss that. I mean, it was at its best, that was the most fun thing that I was doing all the time. Like, I used to really love to go to work every day and, plan interesting things for us to do. That just went away. Yeah, what was the question?
So the question is, what do you think would need to happen for you to go back to your original career?
If the part of me that misses it starts outweighing the part of me that likes working at the gym, because even if I did go back to teaching, I would still be able to train jiu-jitsu every day.
Right.
And like being a secretary or a manager isn't necessarily the thing that makes me super happy. It's being able to train and teach jiu-jitsu. I really like teaching just as much as training. So that shift would have to go more in the favor of teaching kids again. And then also, I mean, I'm happy right now. I'm 31 years old. I make enough to pay the rent, which is nice. I don't know. It depends on what the future is in this. If I'm still a secretary/manager when I'm 40 and I'm still making, that salary, it might come to the point where I feel like I need to do something more. But if I'm still happy doing the same thing and I'm still getting by and I'm still comfortable with that, I don't know if I would go back.
Okay.
Or maybe I love the idea of having my own gym. So if I got to the point where I was able to open up my own gym and do jiu-jitsu all the time, that would be cool too. I don't know if that's in the cards for me, but that's.
Well, why would that not be in the cards for you? I mean, you've already taken the big step of like stepping out of the normal 9 to 5 and
Right.
what most people expect of their everyday life. Why wouldn't you think it would be something you could do to take another step further, you know? Because you're kind of getting what I would view as on-the-job training right now. You get to see how a gym or how a jiu-jitsu academy is run with little to no risk.
Right. And I mean, these past 2 weeks or past week or two, it's been great too because Crew Eric and Coach Bill, the guys I work with, they're in Thailand, so it's been even more like on the job, like how to run a gym when no one else is there. So it's fantastic training. Like I feel comfortable. Like if I did open up a gym right now, I mean, it might fail, but I feel like I'd have a pretty good idea about what I need to do to make it function every day. It's really just the commitment then. That would be the only thing that would hold me back. Or if maybe I didn't get to the point where I felt like I was good enough at jiu-jitsu to charge people for my instruction.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a blue belt. I'm 31. I don't make very much money, and I'm a blue belt. So
yeah. Talk about a guy that's got life by the balls.
Yeah, but so we'll see. I mean, if it goes well, that's where I could see myself going. On the other hand, there are things that I still get caught up in that I'm trying to shake off, but like the not necessarily the pressure, but the idea that I need to do something more standard to be more acceptable. Especially, my girlfriend has never put any pressure on me to do anything different. She's awesome, but you know, I'm 31 and I'm a blue belt and I don't make very much money. So, you know, if I'm 40 and I'm in the same boat, I don't want her or myself to feel embarrassed about where I'm at in my life, which maybe is
you would completely suck
pressure or something like that. But
if you didn't get promoted at least one belt in the next 9 years, there's a problem with your instructor.
But I mean, that's what I mean by that, though.
I got you. No, I mean, and that's right. I look. I know from personal experience, I've seen guys with probably less teaching experience than you open up their own gym and gyms
Right.
and be successful. And you know, seeing what you see is most of the time, you know, like people are like brand new people are just that, you know, and it's really they're passionate about learning the martial arts, and as long as they find the right gym and somebody as passionate as them, you'll get new students. So I don't think that would be a big problem. You know, the big problem is marketing and promoting and getting
Right.
through the door and startup money. You know, those aren't things that you're worrying about. You're worrying about all things that you can ultimately control yourself.
Right.
How good you are, what you're going to do, all this other stuff. You know, the others, that's stuff you have a handle on.
Right. I mean, right now, all I'm focused on is training. Like, I have to work and I have to teach classes, but I get to train 7 days a week. So I try to train every possible opportunity I get because I want to get as good as I can, as fast as I can, so that I can get there quicker. So we'll see how that works out.
So if you were to be talking to somebody that was in the same boat that you were in, you know, maybe not a special educator, but they're like, man,
Right.
I hate my job. I feel like, you know, this sucks. I'm having a nervous breakdown every time I go to work or think about going to work, and I want to change careers, be it a professional martial artist or whatever, you know, owning their own business. You know, what kind of lessons learned do you have to say, hey, these are the things I did to kind of set myself up to at least have some sustainability as I'm transitioning into this new career?
For me, it was surprisingly easy just because I was single and I didn't have a lot of expenses to begin with. So I think the situation would be entirely different if I already had a family, if I already was married, let's say, or if I had kids. I'm no longer thinking about myself and I couldn't afford to be selfish. But as it is, I can afford to be selfish. So all I did was cut expenses, like any kind of random bills. Like it's very easy, I think, to accrue like random monthly charges on your credit card doing silly things.
Right.
I cut back on those things and just tried to focus on all the things that I like to do the most and only spend money on those things, which is fairly easy to do. And then beyond that, what else did I do? I mean, I found a cheaper place to live.
Okay. So all the advice you would give someone is financial, or what I'm hearing is you really have to make the assessment based upon what station you're at in life. You're a 31-year-old single guy living in a cheaper apartment. If
Right.
you're like myself, 42 years old, with 2 kids and a mortgage, I
Right.
have much different concerns than you did when you made your change.
Right. I mean, it's helpful to be surrounded by people that are okay with it. Like we talked about, my parents were totally cool with it. Although
Yeah, and that's surprising because, you know, most parents, you know, you have to be 9 to 5, you got to be stability. What are you going to do with the rest of your life? You're playing in pajamas, that kind of thing.
Yeah. My dad, I mean, my mom stays at home with my sister and takes care of her. And my dad has always either owned his own business or he's always done something that he's always loved. He's an electrical engineer.
Okay, so he's an entrepreneur?
I guess you could say that, sure. I don't know how successful he is at being an entrepreneur, but he's He does it, and it makes him happy. So all he'd ever want for me was, like, he loves the idea that I could own my own business someday. And as soon as I told him, I didn't tell him that I was going to quit before I actually quit. I guess I wasn't that brave. But when I told him, like, the first thing he said was, my dad knows how to build houses and stuff like that too. Like, I can help you build a gym, which was really cool. Like, that was literally his first response was, I'm going to help you build your gym when you're ready. And that was before I even said that I want to open up my own gym someday. It was just, I'm going to go work at the gym. But that's where his mind goes too. So I mean, that was easy in that sense.
So your transition into this new career path and kind of shedding the shackles, as we could say, of normal life, sounds like it was easier because of the support and you didn't get any blowback or kickback from your family.
No, I mean, I don't know if what happened to me is the same for everyone, but it was super easy to change everything in my life, or at least a big part of my life. I think what you need to do is work up the nerve to actually do it. So the hardest part for me was telling the principal that I'm going to resign.
Right.
Once, and literally as soon as I told him that I was resigning, it was like the easiest thing in the world after that.
Right.
And I got lucky, everything seemed to fall in place, but I don't know, that's tough.
It's been a year now, right? So you said you resigned in December, or you put in your resignation in December?
I put in my resignation in November because they need 60 days notice. So then my last day was after Christmas break. So I think I stuck around for another month to help them with the transition with the new teacher. So February 1st I started at Knockmoy.
So 10, 11 months. So 10 months you've been on this path. Right. How do you feel? Any regrets? Are you happy that you made the decision?
No regrets at all, because I literally I was miserable every day. So at the very least, I'm happy every day, and that's a good enough change for me. I don't necessarily miss the money. I keep going back to money just because that's always on my mind.
Right, no, and it's how we keep sure with a lot of things. It's
right.
You have or keep, yeah.
Right, but I don't want for anything. If I need to buy something, I can go ahead and buy it. I saved money and things like that, so I was prepared in that sense. I don't really have any regrets, no. Like I said, I might wind up going back just because I miss the kids.
Right.
But beyond that, no, it was an easy transition.
Well, that's awesome, because I didn't know the complete story, and I was expecting maybe some pushback from your parents or somebody in your family, just because it's not conventional what you did. But
right.
That's amazing to hear that they've been super supportive, and hearing that your dad said, "Hey, I could help you build your gym."
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, my family's pretty great. Girlfriend was very cool about it. I mean, she trains herself. So the idea of wanting to...
She had a knockout victory, right? Didn't she just knock some girl out?
Yeah, she kicked a poor girl in the head so many times that she got knocked out. So yeah, that was pretty awesome.
You're the wrong couple to start a fight with at this point.
I'll just wait for her to knock them to the ground, and then I'll choke their already lit corpse. That's my plan.
All right, so the last question, and we'll wrap it up here in a second, is, so now that you've kind of dedicated, it sounds like 7 days a week, you might be training multiple times a day, you're teaching... How do you feel like you let's say you specialize in jiu-jitsu, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So how do you feel like your jiu-jitsu has grown in these last 10 months? You know, if you can either quantify or verbalize to people the thousands of people that follow you.
I mean, I'm still a blue belt, but I feel like I've gotten, like, even week by week when I look back, or if I look back tournament to tournament, how my performance goes, I feel like I get exponentially better because this is all I think about. When I'm home in the morning or at night, I'm watching jiu-jitsu videos because that's what I like to do. One thing that I don't get to do, I don't get to take as many classes because usually I'm either teaching them or I'm back behind the desk while, let's say, Coach Tim or Coach Bill are teaching classes. So I kind of make up for that by having, like, the YouTube professor deal. But that works out pretty well because if I see something cool, I can ask Tim or I can ask Bill and they'll show me stuff. And I get to take classes here.
Not this professor, a general YouTube professor.
Right. Although you make appearances every Wednesday, so that's pretty cool too. So I get...
Yes.
I'm in a very lucky place too, I should say. Being sort of under the Balance umbrella, it's a super cool place because they've never... Like, I go there for free 2 days a week. That's really cool of them. And I mean, I've asked to pay a mat fee, and they're like, no, don't worry about it. I don't know if everyone gets to do that.
And I'm glad that everyone that does pay is going to hear that now.
Sorry. But I mean, I go there for the noon open mats on Saturday and the competition training on Sunday.
Gotcha. That's cool. Hey man, that's there. But that is awesome. And you have that latitude. And you're pretty lucky with the instructors that you have that have good relationships, with all the different.
I'm surrounded by black belts everywhere I go. Like when I trained today, I'm a blue belt, and I got to roll with 5, 6 black belts over the span of an hour or two. Like that's incredible.
Yeah, you're definitely going to get better that way, and that's where you could definitely, you could see your jiu-jitsu getting better. You've probably, it's difficult. There's no metric, right, to say
Right.
how much better you've gotten in the last 10 months.
Right.
But as someone that had trained with you prior to you quitting your job to after, it's been a really, really big difference. So.
Oh, right on. Thank you.
No problem. I definitely see it. Well, Matt, it is Thanksgiving Eve. I appreciate you being on the show. This will be my first Google Plus Hangout to driving it home with the professor, so we really appreciate you opening up and talking to some of the pieces. We're going to put it out tomorrow on Thanksgiving just because I've committed to Monday through Thursday, so hopefully what I'll do is I'll re-promote it as well a different day to let people know that you were on and that kind of stuff. But I really appreciate it.
Very much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care, man.
Yeah, take care. Have a good one.